Welcome to How We Heard It, the podcast about music, pop culture, movies, and more, with your hosts Wayne Bledsoe and Chuck Campbell.
You're listening to How We Heard It with Wayne Bledsoe and
Chuck Campbell. This is episode 4, and today our topic is not guilty pleasures. Do you want to explain what that means, Wayne?
That means things that are not cool to like, that we like, and we don't really feel any guilt about it, but they used to call them guilty pleasures when you liked something that was either bad or something that somebody, just thought, oh, that's not a cool thing to like. And it might hurt your credibility as a critic if you said you did like it, and we don't care. And
that was a little conversation we had just before this, is that I felt some guilt until more recently, because I thought, oh, people are going to think, what business do I have being a critic if I like this kind of music? But now I really don't care. It's like I can justify it or not justify it, and it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about your taste in music as long as it's something you like.
Yeah, and this is, and I think you chose all music, and I've got music and movies and TV, a subject, a genre.
Very ambitious.
Yeah, very ambitious. You want to start?
Sure, I'll start. The first genre of music that I have no guilt enjoying is exotica. Okay, and it's a type of music. Not everyone's even going to know what exotica is, maybe, but it surfaced in the 50s. It was a type of jazz that was created by Les Baxter, kind of a subset of jazz, and after that, Martin Denny came along and refined it, or bettered it, or maybe not, but they're both like the pioneers of exotica music. For those unfamiliar with how it sounds, it is jazzy, but it's very whimsical and humorous. The instrumentation throws focus on especially like a percussion, vibes. You hear vibes in every other exotica song. And let's see, I would say, one of my favorite parts are the animal noises and bird sounds, which are either real animals or human-made sounds.
Right.
And the whole idea is to evoke this other world type of escapism where you're on some faraway country or a country that doesn't even exist. And I think it's something that Baxter and Denny and others were creating as a form of escapism, because it was post-World War II America, and people could not even imagine going to most parts of the world. They could only guess what things were like there. So it played off of that, and it played off the imagination, and it draws you in, and you create your own personal experience from their music. And something I want to get into real quickly, just a quick note, that pretty much all forms of art from the 50s, there's going to be some elements about them that are problematic today.
Oh, yeah.
And this exotica is no exception to that. I think that there would be some issues people might have with, I don't want to say appropriating culture, because this was created by two American guys, and it was, using the instrumentation that they had and everything, weren't really appropriating culture, but there was a tendency to stereotype people from these other places, even if these places weren't specifically mentioned in the music, because really their landscapes and everything that they created were like a tropical island with a volcano erupting, or
right.
a river, cruising through a dark forest or something like that. And it wasn't necessarily specifically any place. And sometimes it was just fantasy too. It was places that definitely don't exist. Like
right.
There would be, it could be interplanetary. You could be on another planet, or Earth would be different somehow with different moons and everything. And
they weren't doing any drugs. No
drugs at all. Of course not. No, they were just rum-based drinks. Yeah, and exotica. Speaking of that, it was really club music for tiki bars.
Right.
That's so it was club music of the day, and it was all escapism, and it gave people a chance to wear flowered shirts and dresses and drink rum-based drinks and flirt with each other, and live among all the different, like, the animals that were signatures of tiki culture, like octopus or seahorse or birds, all kinds of rare tropical birds.
Right.
So, but anyway, the world they were creating, though, it was used in ways like in the design, the tiki bars and everything that could definitely be seen as offensive today as far as cultures go. But the very base of Exotica has really nothing to do with anything, because most of the songs are instrumental. And even the ones that aren't instrumental, they would have wordless vocals. So you would just hear a voice, emanating out and not singing words, but just like, creating sounds like a siren or something like that, usually women vocals. So you were up to interpret it however you wanted. But if anyone's looking up Exotica and they wonder about that, if anything offends you, then don't listen to it. That's so. I'm not trying to dismiss anyone's feelings about it, but I'm just saying it. It was corrupted in some way, like everything from that time was. To kind of have a dark underside. But the thing for me with Exotica, I wasn't around in the 50s, and I wasn't going to tiki bars, but it started when I was a kid watching reruns of Gilligan's Island, and it's like, I'm not the only one to do that. And,
No.
and I was one of the ones who was like, why would they ever want to leave that place? They were in paradise, They had all the food they could want. They had beautiful, this beautiful island with lush greenery, and, they all cared about each other. So it was like perfect place to escape to, and so that's how I first started associating when I was becoming aware of Exotica after the Gilligan's Island phase. And what I've used, all of these genres of music I'm going to talk about have a purpose for me. I don't just listen to them randomly. It's usually very methodical. And for me, Exotica is rescue music for me when I'm in traffic. Because whenever I drive in Atlanta a lot, which is one of the worst traffic places ever. I drive in Orlando a lot, which is one of the worst traffic places ever. I've been driving around in South Florida, Southern California, all that stuff. And Exotica puts me in a bubble. I can be in a log jam, and I will be sitting there in my little Exotica bubble like I'm sitting on the beach waiting for the next cocktail. So it's escapism. It's exactly what it's intended to be. Yeah. So I don't even hear people honking at me, passing me in the emergency lane, slamming their brakes in front of me, all that aggressive driving. This is just like an antidote to all of that, and I don't feel it. I'm able to pay attention, I'm not like causing accidents, and that's one of the few things that will really get me through that kind of traffic. So I always stay armed with it. And I want to say too that I made it more of a reality of what Exotic is to me on a trip to Maui a few years ago, and we were staying with some friends, and spent most of the time in the western and southern part of the island. But in the far eastern point of Maui, there's a town called Hana, and there's a rainforest between all the other towns of Maui and Hana, and it's just this little town. You have to drive through the rainforest to get there, and it's just unreal. It's beautiful, and sprung for some extra money to stay at a resort there, kind of lavish, but it was an expense that was worth it, and got a cabin on the beach in Hana, and they didn't have TVs there, which is actually a plus, because you just turn the TV on, it can ruin anything. And the only kind of entertainment I had was digital Exotica music. And listening to that in that setting with the wind blowing through the trees and the rainstorms, it was the rainforest, so it would rain periodically every day, was amazing. And then even more amazing, one night I went they had an infinity pool that overlooked the ocean, and it was like midnight. And I went up there, and the rain was spritzing by now and then. There was a fullish moon in the palm trees above the pool. Not a soul anywhere. No one. I walked a little footlight pathway up to this infinity pool, and just sat there and looked over the ocean, and that was maybe like the happiest moment I've ever had alone. It just like, and it is stuck in my mind like forever. And that's where I go now. So I actually have a real life association with Exotica, and not just aliens and zombies and mermaids and stuff like that. But anyway, people may think it's shallow type of music and just party music, and I don't really care, because it works for me.
Well, the Exotica artists that I like, that's weird is Yama Sumac, which is, the vocalist who did, gosh, she did like these crazy albums about, the fire gods and different things like that. And she had this wild vocal range that went to these high super shrieks to these really kind of low guttural sounds.
Where is she from?
Well, that's the thing. It's all kind of mysterious. I mean,
Okay.
her name
Perfect.
is Yama Sumac.
Right.
But probably her name was Amy Camus.
Okay.
They just put it backwards.
Right.
So
right.
I don't really know what her actual history is, but I heard her, I heard one of those albums, and it's just one of the weirder things you will ever hear. But it's got exotica music going on, and she's singing this stuff.
Is she singing in English or?
I'm trying to remember if she ever really sings in English. The stuff that I remember is just like, I don't know if it's a real language or not.
Right.
It's kind of what you're talking about.
That's the thing about exotica is they aren't really about anything. It's one of the rarest genres in that you just make up your own world when you listen to it. And it's very different, from anything else. I mean, I like jazz and other instrumental-oriented type genres and everything, but this one is just really special and different and weird. And if you're special and weird, then you'd probably like it too. So,
does Esquivel fit into there anyway?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that exotica?
Yes.
Okay, because I like Esquivel.
Well, there you go. We need to have some drinks. We need some rum and pineapple juice, Mai Tais, zombies,
And all things zoo, 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 zoo.
Yeah. Right. Or just stand off and do one note over and over without any words.
Well, that's also with exotica. That's one of the first places where they used electronics. Electronic instruments and stuff. Sometimes it was, it's a weird genre.
Right.
And Esquivel was famous because he was an early experimenter with stereo sounds, and there's sounds all over, left and right, and they move all around.
Yeah.
So.
This is John Baker, by the way. He's our engineer here at the Arbor, and a great guy. We talk with him all the time. We try to get him to talk in the shows because he probably knows more than I do. I don't know about Wayne.
He knows a lot. Let's just say that
he does.
John knows a lot.
He does. He keeps us on the straight and narrow.
All right. Well, mine is for a guy that likes all this aggressive rock and roll music and old blues and stuff like that. Mine is particularly one of those things that people would go, "What?" Because I like sunshine pop.
Okay.
Sunshine pop incorporates, it starts with say the Mamas and the Papas and all these different, like Spanky and Our Gang, these different vocal groups that things were just really, really pretty. Harper's Bazaar, which Ted Templeman, who later produced Van Halen and all sorts of people, he was in a vocal group that did all this super sweet stuff that sang early Randy Newman songs and Van Dyke Park songs. And I think that's really kind of where the name got tagged. Was Van Dyke Park has a song called "Come to the Sunshine" that's just all happy, birds and flowers and stuff.
Is it what time period was it? Did it start in the 60s? Or?
Yeah, you kind of figure it starts around 66 with the Mamas and the Papas, and then goes up. But see, I think that even though they don't consider it, if you looked up Sunshine Pop, you wouldn't find anybody modern in it. But I think Pharrell's song "Happy," which I know people hated and I actually liked. I know you hate it.
Yeah,
you hate it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to get sick of it because I wasn't listening to the radio. But
I liked it the first 1,000 times.
Well, see, that's the thing. Any of this stuff, if I heard it as much as other people have heard, like "Happy," I would probably hate it all.
Right.
But you had that. You had Lou Christie with a song "I'm Gonna Make You Mine." He also had "Rhapsody in the Rain," which they made him change lyrics to because it was so suggestive.
Oh, really?
About having sex in a car.
Oh, okay.
And the windshield wiper said, "Together, together, together." But yeah, and the Monkees kind of fall into that.
Okay.
And it's just that kind of like peppy, happy music that really went against the grain with everything else that I like in life.
I've got an inclination from you that you liked the Mamas and the Papas. I thought that was more Michelle Phillips based than
Well,
anything
no,
else.
I like everybody, but Michelle Phillips was probably my first crush as far as
Okay,
being a little
yeah.
kid and looking at
So I
somebody
kind of
going,
dismissed
man, oh,
that. It's
man.
like, all right, it's just her. It's not really their music. But this is really kind of surprising to hear this. All the other bands or acts that you like from that.
Yeah, and you start to, yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, sounds like there's crossover between what's considered bubblegum pop
Yeah.
in this.
Yeah, for sure. Bubblegum pop falls into it. And like the Turtles, I love the Turtles.
Yeah, I love
Happy Together and Eleanor G, I Think You're Swell, which Eleanor G, I Think You're Swell was actually the Turtles parodying themselves. And it was just too damn good that it
Right.
became a big hit. And it was
Right.
like, oh, okay, well, we can't parody ourselves. But
Well, I mean, the Monkees. I mean, they were great.
yeah.
I guess Partridge Family's going too far, though, right?
I actually kind of like the Partridge
Oh my
Family.
God! How am I just now finding this out? I mean, that's like, how dare you make fun of some of the stuff I liked?
Well, another band that I would consider sunshine pop that you introduced me to is Rabbit, the band out of Florida.
yeah.
And that is absolutely sunshine pop, even
Yeah,
though it's beyond
absolutely.
the
Yep.
era that they want to call it.
Yep.
But they're great. I mean, it's like this is so sweet and innocent that you can't really tell if it's children's music or it's adult music, but it makes you feel good.
Right.
And there's too little music out there that is designed just to make you feel good that's not insipid. I mean,
Right.
I probably that kind of music is the music I hate the most when it's done badly.
Right.
But when it's done well, I absolutely love it.
Okay.
And lots of people, I mean, it would be a surprise to my friends.
Yeah.
I like it so much.
Well, I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm just surprised.
Right.
So that's okay.
Well, see, that was why I wanted to pick this subject. It was
Well,
like
I'm glad we got this out in the open now. I have about 1,000 other bands to introduce you to now.
I probably won't like any of them.
I don't know. You like Rabbit, though.
Yeah, I love
about
Rabbit.
It's a pop quartet from Mount Dora, Florida.
Right.
2 men and 2 women, and they have great harmonies and great fun. And it is very much like children's music, but there's an adult edge to it. But there's nothing. They're definitely G-rated.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
totally. And we went to see them.
Yep.
We I brought
Oak Ridge.
Yeah, at Oak Ridge at like an ice cream parlor called
Yep.
Razzleberries.
Yeah.
And it was like such a weird place to have a concert, but there are all these kids there, like, yeah, this is kids' music,
Right.
and like everybody's eating ice cream and listening to this. music.
I remember seeing those kids and thinking, quickly scanning through their lyrics in my head, like, is this going to be okay? I thought, oh yeah, there's
nothing in
about
there.
'em.
It's
Nothing about them that's less than G-rated. Or
No,
worse
and
than
one
G-rated.
of my favorite songs by him is talking about growing up in Florida, in the place where the circus would hole up in the winter, and talking about there were lions in my backyard and things like that. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's the thing. The lyrics are good. They're not stupid.
Right. No. They're smart
No.
people. Oh, that's cool.
That's a fine line to tread.
It is.
Yeah.
Very
Being
fun.
simple without being stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to slide into my next one, and I'm going to use a genre label for it that it really doesn't fit, but there's no other way to explain it. But it's kind of new age, but it's not new age. Now, I'm familiar with new age and the astral projection music and all of that, and the chimes and the chakras and whatever. And I mean, I don't dislike that either.
Right.
But this is more of a meditative type of music, and it varies. I've got down here. For me, it kind of started with late 80s and the early 90s, mid 90s with Anya, the Irish artist who did a lot of overdubbing and did Orinoco Flow. That was her biggest hit, but she had Shepherd's Moon and several songs. Beautiful voice, very much esoteric type stuff. But you also had Enigma with the Gregorian monk chants, and you had Deep Forest with their world music and their kind of childlike vocal. But it's not restricted to that. I'm also including like Dead Can Dance, which I think is a more sophisticated type of world music, but also has that kind of new edge feel. Lisa Gerrard, I think they're both from Australia, or at least she is. one of the lead vocalists is
Right.
just has an otherworldly voice, and she sings in a made up language, which is interesting and kind of goes to my exotica and the escapism. I'm looking to escape with music, but and actually, I wrote down this thing. I've even discovered, and I'm sure you've probably seen it too, on YouTube. You'll see like 3-hour, 5-hour, 8-hour tracks that are stuff like I wrote the cozy Paris coffee shop on a mid-autumn afternoon. And what it is like jazz music, and you'll hear rain showers, or you'll hear a distant train, or you'll hear foghorn from a lighthouse. And to me, all of that works together. None of it's really new age, but it all works together for my second purpose. So so exotica helps me escape in a playful kind of environment and seal off the world. And this is another form of escapism for me, but it's when I need to focus. It's when I need to shut out everything else and focus on something I'm doing. This is often what I'm listening to when I'm writing, or if I'm doing math, God forbid, or something like that. And I even bought... I lived in Central Florida, and there's a little town there called Casadega, and it's called Casadega is a medium place, and it's between Daytona Beach and Orlando, and it's just row after row, a little neighborhood, just row after row of mediums who live there, and they have a couple of they have a spiritualist camp and crystals and like little bookstores with all this esoteric stuff, and I bought a meditative CD for dogs. And I bought it. I brought it home and played it for my dog and I. And we were asleep at the first track was over. So I used.
On humans too.
Yeah. So Marley and I, we can fall asleep to that just right away. But all of this music, as different as it might be, it kind of all hits the same brain waves with me.
Yeah.
And again, if you say you like new age, back in the day, you were just, immediately deemed some kind of kook, which. I don't think it was fair for people who liked it necessarily, but...
Well, I first got into that stuff with like George Winston and Michael Hedges and all the stuff that came out of Windham Hill.
Right.
And there were a lot of great musicians in that. But then it started getting cheesier as time went on.
I think Yanni is that...
Yeah, and I gotta say, in concert, Yanni has amazing musicians. I would never put on a Yanni record, but reviewing his concerts, I had to admit what he does really well, and he has great musicians. Mm-hmm. But I would never put on a Yanni album.
Right. Well, I would put on. I don't think I would put on Yanni either. Honestly,
yeah,
it's a little too much for me. Yeah. But like Dead Can Dance, is like I can listen to that. Although sometimes Lisa Gerrard's vocal is so. Intense that I get distracted. So I'm more of the 8-hour train trip across America during a thunderstorm kind of, with just really great stuff. It's really escapist, and it works for my dog too. So.
The first. Go ahead.
Have you ever a genre called downbeat, down tempo?
Yep.
It's kind of similar.
Yep, definitely.
There's a lot of really good down tempo stuff that's great to read to and write to. So it doesn't have any lyrics.
I like down tempo, and definitely.
Yeah, with I put on Eno's Discreet Music. The first time I played that, my animals just chilled out.
Yeah,
and it's on a tape loop. Is what he did. He created tones on a tape loop, and they just repeat. But it's really pretty, and it's really slow.
Mm-hmm. And he advises you on the back of the album to put it just barely audible.
Yeah, but I put it up loud enough. I like it. I like it fairly loud. But another one that I will recommend. That's one of that is as far as okay, I need to chill out. I just need to kind of tune out. There's a band called Amina, which it started out as 4 Icelandic women.
Okay,
and I think they added a man to the group later. But they have an album called Kurr, and Kurr is supposedly the sound that the birds in Iceland make.
Okay.
And it is absolutely beautiful. Start to finish, it's one of those things that it's totally relaxing. You can totally just nothing about it's going to stress you out, but it's also interesting enough that if you want to pay attention to it, you're going to get everything you need to get out of it, but you're not going to be, all hyped up and jacked up. It's great.
Right. It has a comment that he says about ambient music where he says it doesn't demand your attention, but it rewards it.
Yeah.
That's a good, that's a good way to do it.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like...
You can put it in the background and
subtle,
not pay attention to it, but if you do pay attention to it, you get rewarded for it.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the best kind of background. I mean, that's the best kind of ambient type music.
Unless you're in traffic, and then you need Exotica.
Well, it's funny. I didn't appreciate Steve Reich's music for 6 pianos until I was in traffic. And for some reason, just that kind of frenetic piano, chilled me out in traffic. That's when I first learned to appreciate his music.
Well, there you go.
There you go. All right. Okay. Now this one, I'm just going to pick out one group because it's something that people hate. People would look at me as a critic and go, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" I like the band America.
Oh.
That's exactly the reaction I wanted.
I looked to John to see what his reaction was, and he's stone face over there. He's not tipping his hand.
I don't care. I like them. I think. I hate "Horse with No Name." I think that song is awful.
It's just been played to death.
It was played to death the second time they played it, but it was pretty much everything else up to the 1981 or something. I think. I don't mind soft pop music. And, adult contemporary stuff, as long as it's done really well and the songwriting's there and their songs are good. Their album Holiday that has Tin Man on it and Another Try, and it's a really good album.
Is that yacht rock? Would that be classified as yacht rock?
Yeah, I don't know if it's yacht rock or not, but it's close.
Okay,
it would be pretty close to it. But they're one of those bands that everybody goes, "Oh man, come on!" But it's I can't help it. I like them,
right?
And I don't have any guilt about liking them.
Right.
I think they're good. They're good songwriters.
They may not be my thing, but I think they're on the fringe of respectability, at least.
That's where I want to be in my life. It's
right.
Only on the fringe of respectability.
Got to keep an eye on him, but he's okay.
That's exactly where I want to be.
It's a good band.
Fringe of respectability. If you're out there, yes. Fringe of that is a really good band name.
Too many syllables.
No. Fringe of respectability. I like it.
Yeah, it's a lot of syllables.
8 syllables. That's
you can just call them 4, F-O-R,
But yeah. So, there's a specific band that is totally uncool to like. I started to bring up, horn bands because I like horn bands for singles, even though I don't like their albums, like Chicago and Blood, Sweat, and Tears and all that stuff. I generally like their singles and don't like their albums. But, America, it's I put them on pretty regularly.
Huh. I guess I don't know. I don't think that's too surprising to me. But
really?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still getting over the Partridge Family.
Well, it's not like I pull it up. I'll pull out Partridge Family on me singles, not the albums. Okay. I don't go deep cuts on the Partridge Family.
Right. And just the David Cassidy songs, not the stupid things that his mom's saying, right?
Oh my God! I don't remember singing too much.
Yeah, there was some. I don't know how I knew this, but it was like a whale song or something like that. It was about endangered. Do you remember?
Oh, you know more about it than I do. So
well, that's like all I know of the Partridge Family. Really, is I know that David Cassidy sang, and what's her name, Susan Day was
halfway.
like a.
No, I like that one. I'll meet you halfway. I like.
I think I love you.
I think I love you. Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not. It's not like I listen to it every day. I just like it.
No, you're fine. You're fine. That's the whole idea. No judgment here.
Oh, there's judgment.
Yeah, you're going to have judgment on my last one for sure.
Uh-oh. Okay.
You ready for it?
It's your turn.
Okay, it's electronic music.
Of course.
And this is something we've sparred with for decades, and that's how far back my love of electronic music goes.
Oh, yeah.
It goes back to techno with I actually, one of my first albums, and I don't know if I just found it long after it came out, but the Kraftwerk album,
right.
With Numbers and Audubon and stuff like that. But I like stuff with more head of steam than that now. And it, like I say, it goes back to like techno, like Front 242, and the 90s bands like the Chemical Brothers and Prodigy and Lords of Acid. I know there are a couple of Lords of Acid songs you like. So and then it goes up to the stuff you really hate that's popular today, like let's see, Princess Superstar, Big Sis, Chase Icon, Destructo. I really like Destructo, Abel Hart, Crystal Rocks. Yeah. Anyway, these are more modern techno things.
Yeah.
And what they all have in common is they have an aggression to them. Right. And as opposed to the first two that calmed me down and got me out of chaos, this is aggressive music. And the reason I like them is, as you know, I work out. Today I worked out for the 434th day in a row, right? Wow, thanks. And it's not like, it's not like I'm a big bodybuilder. It's not like I can't stand to lose weight or anything like that, but it's just for my health. I don't extend, into long workouts. But there is nothing that works for me for a workout like aggressive, kind of electronic, rhythmic, propulsive. I can't. There pop songs and hip hop and rock that never comes close. None of that helps me like run the track or run on a cardio machine or anything like that. And this just driven, pounding stuff. And like a lot of the ones I named, like Lords of Acid, you remember them, but the newer ones, there's something like funny and sexy about them too. So there's like humor and there's some vocals. I don't like what most people call EDM, which is just electronic dance music, because that's just brain dead stuff to me sometimes, because it's just the same note for 10 minutes, and if you're not on Molly or GHB or something like that, I can't imagine. Well, not that I'm on that stuff either. I'm just saying I just can't imagine that being entertaining. But this just hard driven electronic stuff for sure.
Well, it's funny because we were driving back. We had a long drive back from the eclipse last night with me and my girlfriend coming back, and she said, "Well, let me put on my music?" And she put on her cardio workout.
Oh, cool! What did she have on it?
Well, I mean, she was just starting out. It was Michael Jackson's "Got to Be Starting Something," and it was the Pointer Sisters "Automatic." And it's not, and both of the songs I like okay. But that electronic drum beat was putting me to sleep because it was boom, 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 it was the same thing. And it's like, I knew there wasn't going to be any variation.
Right.
And it's like, that was just like, I'm going to go to sleep.
The variation is key. And all the ones I've named, they layer their songs in there, and they have different kinds of breaks and different kinds of beats and stuff the songs are always moving and changing.
Well, the only one you mentioned of that group that I like, Front 242.
Yeah.
I mean they're like really aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like, I need a weapon.
Right. Well, I mean, Chemical Brothers, Setting Sun, that's just like all sirens and pounding, and and that had Noel Gallagher, I think, from Oasis was the vocals on that.
Oh, no.
Prodigy.
Oh, Prodigy.
One of the Smack My, you can't even find that. Yeah, well, I mean, you can't even find that on YouTube now. They can't use that word in that song now. And the video for that one was imaginative, because it was just some drunk who was going through and grabbing women and throwing up and all this stuff. And at the very end, the surprise is it's a woman who's doing all this stuff, and she's just drunk out of her mind and raising hell through London. And and this is, I mean, I listen to that stuff. I spent a lot of time back and forth to Europe, and a lot of times I would go alone, and I would have this music to like take me through the city streets and at night and everything. And it's just like I don't know, I like, again, all of my genres are escapism in one way or another, and this is just the flip side of the other two, in that it's just amps up my blood, my heart rate, not my blood pressure.
It's so funny because other than Front 242, of all those people you mentioned, it does the opposite with me. It makes me nod.
Well, what about "Sit on Acid" by Lords of
Acid? Well, I take it back.
You would sing. Yeah. I heard you sing that.
I take it back on Lords of Acid. Yeah, there's another one that I do like, and they're shocking and they're fun. And
they had some hell of shows in Knoxville in the 90s.
Well, you need to tell that story. You need to tell the story. If I don't think you have yet, of your experience with Lords of Acid.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I should say now you've talked to one of the lead singers too, didn't you?
Oh yeah. I talked with one of the lead singers in Prodicon.
You talked to Praga Khan.
Praga
Okay.
Khan, and
okay,
one of
so
the
he's
singers.
actually the leader of Lords of Acid, and he's had a different woman singer.
And he said that Lords of Acid, it's whatever other band he had that was more popular.
Praga Khan.
Praga Khan is the big thing in Europe.
Yep.
And Lords of Acid was more popular here.
Yes.
And in particular in Knoxville.
Yes. And there was the singer, Lady Galore, who was the lead singer here.
Right.
One time when they came through, and I interviewed her, oh my God, she was... she was a trip. I think she got the job. The group is originally from Belgium, and she's from England. And the original singer was Natalie something, but she was Belgian. Mm-hmm. And she was more of the dancer. And the woman is like the dominatrix of the band. Mm-hmm. You know, she's the main singer, very much dominates the guys in the band.
My favorite song by them is Spank My Booty.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Pretty funny.
And then they have a whipped cream mix, I think, like that. I don't know if you've heard that version of it, but that's the best one. They had...
I don't know.
Oh, I mean, they have all kinds of questionable songs. They had Crab Louse.
Oh, yeah. And
Which is about...
we'd be
I don't
throwing
want
up
to go
whatever.
into what that one's about.
Darling, come here. In the...
Yeah.
Yep. They're really funny.
Yeah. Well, see... So there's two. You can
There's
understand.
two of them. There's two of them.
There's probably a few others that you could.
They don't put
I know
me to
you won't
sleep.
like any of the new ones. You've already heard Princess Superstar.
Yes. You sent me.
I taunted you with that
You
one.
tortured me with that one.
Yeah.
I can't. It was one of those things where I'm halfway through it and I'm just thinking, I can't believe I'm watching this video.
But again, it wasn't just like this EDM stuff that's popular. It's just like, you know, for 10 minutes and, you know, and just no changes. I mean, I like vocalists and I like I say, a sense of humor. They can be sexy. That's good too, you know. But I don't know. You've already known this. You've known this for a long time.
I've known this,
I'm just letting the rest of the world know. You know.
All right. Now this one will be no surprise to you, but I love westerns. We're going off music and on to movies and TV. I love westerns, and in particular, I love The Rifleman. The Rifleman is like comfort food to me, and you know it's came out probably about the time I was born. Was when the first episode was made, about 1960. And you know, Lucas McCain is a man of peace, but every week some son of a bitch needed killing, and sometimes it was 3 or 4 sons of bitches who needed killing. And if you go into YouTube, you can, if you look up The Rifleman Kills, you can see over the course of all the seasons a montage of him killing everybody. It's hilarious.
I should probably pay attention then.
Oh, this is where you ought to pay attention. A woman, I won't say who the woman is, told me when we were talking about how much I like westerns, and she said she liked The Rifleman, and I'm like, "You like The Rifleman?" And she said, "Oh yeah." and she said, "Yeah, you know, I never fantasized Matt Dillon," and I won't say what she said, but The Rifleman, oh yeah, and you could tell she was telling the truth, and she thought about it more than once.
Many times.
Many times. I mean, I just thought, Lucas McCain, The Rifleman, man of peace, wants to be a rancher and has to kill somebody every week. But that's what was in her head.
What do you know about The Rifleman, John? I don't either. It's like, so there's a Me TV. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's like free. Yeah. Okay. I troll them because sometimes they play Gilligan's Island, but other times they do. Sundays at 3 p.m. Right? That's the only fix I get from them. But they have westerns all the time, and they all kind of flow together for me. So I don't really know.
Well, I never
really
thought about that aspect of The Rifleman. I mean, it was Sam Peckinpah was one of the creators, and of course Sam Peckinpah became one of the great Western directors, and he wrote some of the early ones and directed some of the early ones, and all sorts of great character actors are in there. I think Warren Oates got killed twice playing different characters in one season. I was sick I can't remember what I had one time that I was sick for 2 weeks. And I watched the entire Rifleman series, for however many years it was on. And, I hadn't really thought about it, but I guess Chuck Connors takes off his shirt a whole lot.
Okay. All right. Is that the woman who was talking to you?
It was, yeah.
You think Chuck Connors had a lot to do with that?
Oh, Chuck Connors, yeah. She really liked Chuck Connors. And, did not have that for any of the other Western stars. Clint Eastwood, nothing.
I really don't know Rifleman from Ponderosa, from Big Valley or whatever that was.
Well, it's a much better. Like I said, I like westerns a lot. I like
you like films too.
Yeah. Most of the Clint Eastwood, Unforgiven, incredible movie.
You like old John Wayne movies or
some John Wayne movies?
Okay.
There's a lot of. John Wayne movies, I think, are there's a lot of westerns that are just junk, but the great ones like 3:10 to Yuma, and of course I consider Treasure of the Sierra Madre a western, even though it's not quite, but that's one of my all-time favorite films. But if it's Kevin Costner's westerns, Open Range is a really good movie.
There was one that got terrible reviews that I liked, and it was because Sharon Stone was the star. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. That was kind of a over-the-top thing. I can't think of the name of it now.
It was, and she ended up having to do duels over and over with all different people. And
she was like a female gunslinger in the...
I saw that, and I thought, maybe I like westerns after all, and all the reviews were like, this is the worst western ever. So I thought, okay, well... Well,
the thing about westerns, and the thing that I like so much about westerns, number one is the visuals. You get great vistas, and you can just sit there and watch it. One of my favorite westerns is an anti-western called McCabe and Mrs. Miller with Warren Beatty and Julie Christie, directed by Robert Altman. It takes place in the Pacific Northwest, and Warren Beatty and Julie Christie go into business together to open a whorehouse. And it's really...
Warren Beatty and Julie Christie.
Oh, yeah.
They were an item, weren't they? At some point, no?
I think maybe at some point. Julie Christie...
He got around.
Yeah, Julie Christie's figured into some of my very favorite movies for very,
And
sometimes...
you're not sure why, huh?
Yeah, I have no idea why. But she was a great actress.
Like Michelle Phillips, didn't she?
Well, there were some similarities there. They were both cute. But... that movie, if you've never seen it, is it's very kind of meditative. Leonard Cohen's music goes all the way through it. It's like Keith Carradine's first movie. He plays like this young kid that's going to visit the whorehouse, and these guys just shoot him for the hell of it. But it's really good and really different. It's kind of a metaphysical western.
Okay.
And there's a lot of westerns in that stretch the boundaries. I just like here's good, here's evil.
Right.
And here's a person who has to stand up.
Right.
And Chuck Connors had to stand up every week to somebody.
Right. Sometimes without a shirt.
Apparently more than I realized.
Caught people's attention. Yeah. You just missed that detail somehow.
I did. But it was such a surprise when we were talking, and I'm like, oh, yeah? Really?
And now you can't watch it again without, he's taking his shirt off.
Taking his shirt off again.
Don't need to take your shirt off now.
But yeah, and every now and then they'll make a decent western. Like I said, I'm trying to think. Nick Cave wrote one called The Proposition. That's actually pretty good. I can't remember. It seems like it's maybe Guy Pearce who plays the main character in it, and it's pretty good.
They don't make many anymore, but it seems like they could.
Well, it's sort of a genre that's kind of run its course, and you have to do something different with it to make it good.
Yeah.
But actually, there's one called Old Ways that had his name is going out of my head now. The fellow that was in Oh Brother Where Art Thou?
George Clooney?
No, the one with three names. It was also in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is another great western that gets all the tropes into one little movie. That's a Coen Brothers movie. I know. It's a Coen.
Where did all this come from?
Well, have you seen The Ballad of Buster Scruggs?
No.
You would really like it.
Okay.
Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of the actor. He's so good.
I know who.
Thomas something Howell?
No. That's not C. Thomas Howell. That would be a totally different movie.
I'm trying to think of all I can think of is Sarah Michelle Gellar, if you're talking about three names.
He's one of those guys that's like super smart and always plays a really kind of dumb character, and he's great.
Kind of odd-looking guy. Right?
Odd-looking guy.
I know who you're talking
the guy
about.
that said he run off.
Yeah. We thought they turned you into a newt. But anyway, in The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, it gets every Western trope. It's done like a Western story book, And they have these different stories, and it gets them all, and it's great. And if you love Westerns, you know what they're referencing. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. I mean, he starts out with this character as the singing cowboy. And it's a comedy. And James Franco's in the second episode, and James Franco's really funny. Liam Neeson is in one that's really creepy. And it's good.
Huh.
But yes.
Is it a TV show?
No, it premiered on Netflix. It was a movie, but they didn't release it in theaters.
It's in sections.
Yes, in sections. Okay. It's like got 5 stories. Tom Waits is in one as a gold prospector.
Okay.
I think I did see that.
And it's really good.
And it's mostly just him out in where
he's out prospecting. Yeah. I don't think there's another character until the very end.
Yeah, I have seen that one.
Yeah.
It is good.
It's great.
He's the only character.
The only character in that episode.
In that section.
Wow.
Yeah. But no, I think you'd like it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's really it's all those Western tropes, but with a perverse twist.
The Western that broke it all open for me was Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
And it's visually stunning.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. We got big TVs now. You can appreciate these big Westerns.
I mean, like, there's no better atmosphere for a movie setting than, the sprawling West.
Yeah.
Just built in right there.
Yeah. My camera's filming us, so I can't look up the name of the actor, but he is a great actor.
Okay, who am I looking up here?
If you look up
Oh
Brother, Where Art Thou?
Message here.
He's one of the 3. But
for what now?
Right.
Oh brother,
Where Art Thou? And he'll pop up as one of the top names.
Okay.
3 names.
He turned me into
Cast.
Yeah.
Tim Blake Nelson.
Tim Blake Nelson. And there was
Yeah.
3 names. Tim Blake Nelson. But he is a tremendous actor. And he is so funny in that movie.
Yeah.
But yes, you need to see it. You would like it.
Okay. All right.
It is funny. All right, now your turn.
Speaking of seeing it, and now we move from our how we heard it to our how we saw it segment.
Okay.
Or did you just do your how we saw it with?
No. I'm good. I
Okay.
have a recommendation that actually kind of fits within the genre that I said.
Okay. Do you want to do that now? Because mine doesn't fit within the genre at all.
Okay. Fitting within the Western genre, this is a movie that came out in the 80s that is not actually a Western, but it has all the Western elements. It's directed by John Sayles, who was one of the great auteur directors, one of the last kind of auteur directors. But it's Matewan. And Matewan is a movie about coal miners trying to unionize in the 1920s. It's a true story, and it is pretty much accurate, except one of the main characters is a composite of different union organizers. But this is an absolutely amazing movie. It's got David Strathairn in it. It's got James Earl Jones in it. And it is...
So is it 1920s?
Yeah, 1920s in Matewan, West Virginia.
West Virginia, okay.
And it's a mining company that owns the town like they always did. And you kind of understand how the mining companies worked and how they exploited and took advantage of all these people. But this is a true story of people who stood up and tried to unionize. And the sheriff in it, I can't remember the sheriff's name right now. Of course, he's a real person. And if you read up on it, you'll find out more and more. But it's a real classic Western, including one of the best shootouts of all time. And it's got Will Oldham in it as the kid who is kind of the person you see everything from his visual. But Will Oldham, who became Bonnie Prince Billy and the Palace Brothers and all the other things that he has recorded under and just played big ears not too long ago. But when
did that come out?
It's in the early 80s.
Okay.
And I think it's John Sayles' best movie. And it is a movie that I've shown it to so many people at my house who've never seen it and can't believe they've never seen it because it is so good and just got lost.
Right.
Criterion just put out an edition of it, so once Criterion gets something, you know that it's something that's a little special,
right?
And it is totally special. If you've never seen it, you need to see it. It's great, and you will. There's a villain in it that I've probably never hated a villain so much in my life. It is.
Does he get it?
I am not telling you what happens, but I'm telling you it is a true story. I interviewed a fella who was a coal mine organizer a Union organizer who was in the battle that came after Mate 1, a city that was nearby called Red Jacket. A fellow named Nimrod Workman, he was there for that. And he knew these people, some of these people.
Was that around the same time that Norma Ray came out, or?
I think Norma Ray came out earlier than Mate 1.
Okay.
Of course, Norma Ray is a more modern
Right.
Union story, but it's another really, really good one.
1979.
Yeah. So Mate 1 came out after that. Mate 1's definitely the early 80s. But Norma Ray's another great one. I mean, it's a really good one for unions, and the thing I like so much about that one is how flawed the Norma Ray is.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't see union movies really anymore. you know?
They try to bury that history so much.
Right.
Which is infuriating. They should be teaching it in schools, but there's a reason that they don't.
Right. Yeah. It's kind of like, well, I don't want to go into that.
Well, we could get political at some point.
No, I was just going to say how they taught Civil War here when, growing up in the South. It's like, that was uncomfortable to talk to people from other parts of the country afterwards. It's like, oh my God, what were they telling us?
Right. Well, it's so funny because just up in Kentucky, they taught about the Civil War differently than they did here.
Well, they didn't secede from the Union, so, Anyway.
Now
So
what's your...
how we saw it. So I saw the movie The First Omen over the way, and the last time I was here, I had just seen Immaculate. So I talked about Immaculate,
Right.
and then a few days later, I saw The First Omen, which is yet another movie about a pregnant nun and demonic possession. I think I've seen enough of this genre to do me for a while. I don't know. I've never seen so many nun movies, and I was joking about that last time, and then I turned around and saw another one. This one, The First Omen, it's like a prequel to The Omen, which the Gregory Peck and Lee Remick movie from the 70s.
Yeah.
And of course, that one was notorious. And oddly enough, after I saw The First Omen, I always felt like I saw The Omen, and then I realized it came out too soon for me to have seen it at theaters. And I watched it. It was on one of the streaming services, and I watched it, and it was like, I recognized some of the early parts, and then it just went off into a territory. I thought, I've never seen this movie.
I saw it at the theater.
Yeah. So, but The First Omen, it's very, just tired. I mean, it's just like everything you've ever seen in some Catholic, demonic, blah, 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 evil priests and all of that stuff. And that makes sense because, of course, that's what the original Omen, and it picks up, it leads up to the original Omen, the First Omen. Bottom line is, it's an attempt to make the Omen a franchise full of sequels and promote it beyond where the Omen ended. And it was just so routine and mundane, and it could have been Nell Tiger Free. I don't know if you've heard of her. She's been in a lot of streaming series, and she was on Game of Thrones for a couple of seasons, and this would have been a great breakout for her, but she had nothing to work with. I don't think it was her fault, but it was just like, wow. And I would say that, when you've been seeing movies for decades, you've seen everything in a way.
Right.
You've seen everything this movie has to offer. But for younger people who haven't, this will be new stuff for them. So, and if you just have to see a movie about Catholics trying to create the Antichrist, then here it is.
You just have to see it.
You can check it out. And I will say that the score was excellent. And it was like the score kept making me think I'm watching a scarier movie than I am, because it was like really lush music and the vocals, and it hit all the right notes you want from a horror film. And it was just really it had more character than any of the people in the movie.
Sometime we've got to do a show about movie music.
Yeah, definitely.
And how it can either make a movie great or make it suck.
Right.
Have you seen The Thin Red Line?
Yes.
The music in that is just makes the movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Better than the movie.
Right.
Yeah, I like Terrence Malick movies normally, but the music is better than the movie.
And it makes it's a war movie, but it feels meditative.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like really slow, and they're walking through the jungle, just like really.
that makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
So, but bottom line, so both these movies come out about the same time. If you're going to see one, definitely see Immaculate, not the first Omen, unless you just are a freak for the Omen milieu. But and Immaculate, like I said last time, it wasn't great, but the last 10 minutes were just bizarre and over the top. Yeah, you've got to. And I was listening to, I think it was NPR or something, but they were reviewing Immaculate, and they said, well, it's just this movie. And then that last 10 minutes, and they're like, yeah, that last 10 minutes. It's like, what? I wasn't ready for that, and they were laughing about what a payoff it was.
Okay.
And the first Omen, I already can't remember how it ended. Obviously it ended with an open door for more Omen movies, but and Immaculate, I'll never forget how that. I won't remember a lot about that movie, but I'll never forget how it ended.
All right, well, I'm going to have to watch it now.
Just check out the last 10 minutes. That's all you got to see.
2 weeks, you've convinced me to watch Immaculate.
I know, and it's not even that great a movie, but just that payoff at the end. That was everything.
Would you have a musical recommendation?
I have one. It's something that you and I have been talking about for a few months. I sent it to you a while ago. Fever Ray, Even It Out. It's very austere song. Definitely not for everybody. It's a kind of neo-punk, industrial, meditative. There's I don't know if you've heard a track of it. It's just like a meditative vocal through it. But it's and the video for it is very striking. It's like a John Waters film, the John Waters horror film. And so Fever Ray is basically another name for Karen Dreyer, a Swedish person who was in the band Knife with brother Olaf. And the whole thing about Even It Out is the storyline, and it's just it's the story of a fantasy of a parent who has abducted a bully at her child's school and is planning out ways to torture and decapitate this person.
It's a family.
Yeah, so it's all about family love and togetherness. But yeah. But it's so Dreyer is really compelling with the presence and the vocal, and it's like I say, it's kind of punky and just I don't know, what would you say? Because it just normally I wouldn't support violence or anything like that, but this is so Zacharias, that's the name of the character who's going to get decapitated.
The John Waters analogy is kind of perfect because it goes along with, it's sort of it's totally socially unacceptable,
right.
Everything about it,
right? But
it's really entertaining,
right?
It's camp.
It's sort of really dark camp.
Yeah,
Pitch
really
black
dark camp. I mean, if you liked, Desperate Living or something else by John Waters, there's a real kind of correlation between the two. That or, even Pink Flamingos. I mean, it's rough, but it's kind of fun.
Dark horror. But like I say, if you can justify violence against anyone, it would be someone bullying your kid. It's like,
it maybe takes it a little too far, just a little bit.
Short of the, stop at the abduction,
Yeah, and especially the decapitation.
But it's anyway, it's definitely dark humor, definitely not for everyone. But it was
music, right?
Yes,
yeah,
and it's just a freakish kind of thing that both Wayne and I would like.
Yeah, he sent it to me, and I really.
You said, "What did I just watch?"
Yeah,
that was your first reaction.
But it's really good, and I did like it.
Right.
And I would watch and listen to more.
Right. Okay, what's yours?
My recommendation is it's sort of totally the opposite. It's the opposite style wise. I want to recommend a singer songwriter who is kind of almost unknown, named Mike Craver. He was in the Red Clay Ramblers. They worked with Sam Shepard on plays in New York. There's a play, Lie of the Mind, that they did the music for and actually appeared on stage in that play. But Mike Craver is criminally unknown as far as a singer-songwriter. He has an album. My favorite of his albums is called Wagoner's Lad. And it's sort of a gothic, and a lot of it has to do with rural life in North Carolina at the turn of the beginning of the 20th century. And there's one song that it kind of relates a little bit called "Waiting for the Coming Storm," which is a great Gothic story about an indentured servant who falls in love with a girl in the family, and she marries a terrible guy who works her to death, and the indentured servant sort of avenges her death. There's a great line, so it's called that where he talks about how the man was found in the cornfield with his eyes cut out. So it's really gross.
Fever Ray could probably
guest
star on that.
She could do that. But for the most part, it's really sweet, and it's just really the songwriting is amazing. He is a terrific guy, and he hasn't been writing a lot of songs lately, but he's been making videos to his old songs. So he's doing these artwork things where he makes art and he cuts it out and he manipulates it so it's stop action. So you can find that stuff on YouTube, or you can look up. I think it's just MikeCraver.com or Mike Craver.
How do you spell that?
It's Crave. Craver.
E-R?
E-R.
Did I say that?
No, you just
I
said
did.
crave.
Crave.
Oh, well, that's that talking. It's Craver. Yes, Mike.
You've
Craver.
had too much water.
Too much of that clear liquid.
Yeah.
But he is a great singer-songwriter that people don't know about, and I have described him as a combination of Cole Porter and the Carter Family.
Oh, wow.
So it's really different. Some of his stuff, like when actresses are trying out for shows on Broadway, sometimes they do one of his songs called Dear Mr. Gershwin. He's written what he calls folk operas. And it's these little musicals that community theaters do that he's written and co-written. And he is really, really a great artist that people don't know about. And if you like, his music can be kind of sentimental. It can be kind of weird. He's got a character that's in a couple of his plays that's an undertaker. It's this great gay undertaker character. And it's great. And all of his songs, I haven't heard a song by him that I didn't like.
All right.
So Waggoner's Lad by Mike Craver, that's the place to start. And you can find his stuff on YouTube. He has a website and lots of albums if you want to order them. They're great.
All right. And again, if you're looking for advice on how to take down a bully, I would say Fever Ray, Even It Out. Maybe make it a double feature tonight, you know?
I don't think you should say if you're looking for advice on how. I think if you should just say if you're looking for some release.
Well, she has release at the end of the video, if you remember.
Yeah, I guess she does.
I'll have to show that to you again when we're off here.
But we can both. I enjoyed that too, so we can agree on that. We can't agree on electronica.
That's fine. You know I don't care if you like my electronica or not.
Well, I know. I mean, this is our relationship for all these years.
I know. It's like I enjoy this music that I perversely like. I might like it more because you don't like it.
Because you could torture me.
You could be my motivation. If I sent you Princess Superstar, and you said that's really cool, I like it. I'd be like, I don't want to listen to it anymore now.
No, you sent that to me, and it was like, this is everything I hate.
I know. I knew it was everything about it. Everything about it. Yes, and that would be Princess Superstar. Perfect. That was the one that I sent you.
Yeah, and
so see what Wayne hates. Princess Superstar, perfect.
You want to see everything I hate into one place.
Yes, it's all right there.
All it needed.
I don't know how you could hate them. They were so innocent.
Well, I think if they put it,
they were almost like what was it, Sunshine Pop? I mean, you know,
it was not Sunshine Pop.
Anyway. All right. Oh, we probably.
Yeah, you're over an hour.
We're over. All right. We need to go.
Yeah.
And
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Check us out next time.
You've been listening to How We Heard It with Chuck Campbell and Wayne Bledsoe, a podcast about music, art, culture, movies, whatever they want to talk about. How We Heard It was recorded in Knoxville, Tennessee at the Arbor Studio by John Baker. If you believe you've been abducted by aliens during listening to this podcast, we take no responsibility for that. How We Heard It is a Tear Owl production, and if you'd like to reach out to Chuck or Wayne, send an email to howweheardit@gmail.com. Come on back next week and we'll have another show for you.